Hello everyone. Yes, I am Akash Rajpuria once again back with you for the third episode of our series where in the first two we have completed basics of Python and second input and output questions regarding Python. Opening a file, closing a file, all that stuff. If you have not watched it, go back and watch that. Okay, it is like continuity in the level basic, little more basic, advanced, like that we will go on. So let's get started for today's session. We are going to practice here if else for loop range type of questions. You would understand everything here. Directly let's dive into the screen. We have the question ready. So the question is very simple. First, write a program to search a given number from a list. So this is my list. I want to search here 34. Now I would write here for I in range of for I in okay. I would write here for I in L1 and I would check if value to be found is equals to I. Now see that I am taking one by one element from here. So this is my list. So this is my list. L1 equals to 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, okay, comma 2, comma 34. Now in this I, this 3 would go and we will check here if value to be found is equals to, that is 34 is double equals to, we will check here 34 is double equals to the I value, that is 3. It is not in this case. So now see that I would just write here if that is the case, if you found the value, in that case, I would just print here print number print found. Okay, print found, and we will break the loop after this. Break, now understand what do you mean by break. So the same thing which I was explaining you right now, it would check first for whether 34 is equals to 3. No. So it would again go back. Okay, it would check here now for 5. This 5 value would go into I. 34 equals to 5. This statement, no. Again it would go to the next thing, that is 723. 723 is also not equals to, then it would go for 2. Okay, 2 is also not equals to, then it will go for 34. Now see, the moment you got 34 here, you would print here found and you would break that. Break means that, buddy, your task is done. Bhai, ho gaya tera. Now, the next thing it will never check. So break is like the speed breaker where you need to stop your vehicle. You need to apply the brakes. So your loop will break here. Just think in this mind in this simple way that, okay, a vehicle is moving. The brake was there. The moment you press the brake, the loop breaks there and it would go outside the loop. Now, Akash, in case if I don't found the element, how you will print that? So I would just go outside the complete for loop, okay? And I would write here else. Up till now, what you have done, you have only studied if and then else. But pay attention, this is the else for a for loop. This is for else. How this for else work? It is very important from interview perspective. If there is no break in your loop, so if there is no break in your loop, then the else statement would be executed. So this else, what it checks if there was a speed breaker. Okay, if there was a speed breaker, instead just it checks if your loop has braked or not. So right now, let's say the element is 134. So first let's run this. So you would see that the element is found here. You can print the index also. Tell me how you do that. In the previous video, I explained you enumerate. You can write here enumerate. And you can just, so what is enumerate? Once again, simple, if you give a list to it, okay. Now this for loop would return the elements in I. So this 3 would go into I, 5 would go into I. And along with that, when you say enumerate, imagine that you get a counter person. A person who would also say that, okay, 3 is present at 0 index. 5 is present at 1 index. There would be one person for that. So that's it. You would write here enumerate and you would write the counter person here. Counter, that's it. Okay. And then you can print this counter also. So you would get at which index it is present. See, this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, this is 3, and 34 is present at 4th index. So you got that. But now if I change the value here to 134, see that it says not found. Why it says not found? Because it has checked all the elements now, and because it was not able to reach inside this, it never break into the break mode. It was never able to find the speed breaker, and that is the reason this is printed. So else would be printed if there is no speed breaker. Just remember that. Check if there is only works when there is no break. That's it. अगर break नहीं लगाओगे तो मैं चलूंगा. Simple as that. Okay, now coming to the next question. Check palindrome number. Write a program to check whether it is a palindrome number or not. Now, what is palindrome number? Palindrome number means if you reverse the number, it is same. So for example, n equals to 1 to 1. If I reverse this, it would be 1 to 1 only. So how to do that? It's very simple. How to reverse it step by step, I have explained you in my shorts video and the previous video also, using a simple for loop. But right now we have a more easy way for it. This is little bit advanced, so that is the reason I was waiting for it. So reverse of n, how to do that? Reverse n equals to, very simple. You would use n double store minus 1. Let's understand how this works. Basically, this is called as indexing. How indexing works? So it has three things. I have explained in that in my previous videos. Look at it. If you already know that, you can skip to the next question. So it starts with a start. There is an ending point here. And then this represents the direction. So how you would imagine this? Imagine that there is one car. Okay. You give a starting position to the car. So here it starts. The ending position, let's say this is the ending position where you need to reach. Now just keep one thing in mind, that in Python, your car never reaches at the end position. It would stop before the end only. So if you want to reach till end, you need to give this colon here. This colon means that just go till the end, whatever the end is. If it is on the Mars, go to Mars, like that. And even for the start, when I mentioned here 0, like the double colon, like it is mentioned here, colon, colon. So this colon, colon means that start from the first part, go from the first part and make your car from starting to end. That's it. So imagine it like this. I'm saying to a person that you want to start from a starting race. I don't know where it is. You need to stop at the stopping race, like the stop point. I don't know where it is. You need to complete the race. Simple as that. But now I give the direction here. Now there is only two direction, positive or negative. So if I give here -1, which means that everything remains the same. Just your car would move from end direction to the start direction. Just imagine that your direction is changed from this side. Simple as that. So now the same thing would happen. What would it will do? It would start from the starting. So this is your starting point. This is your ending point, and it would just print the number in that way. Right now, see, this is exact same number, so you would not see the difference. But if I print here 1996, okay, and if I print here n, and if I print here reverse of n, you would see the perfect difference here. Okay, so you would see that int object. So yes, we need to convert that into a string, then only it would work. So see, 1996 reverse, when you do it, it gets 6991. That's it. It is as simple as that. Now you just need to check if n equals to reverse n. Okay, if that is the case, you would print here palindrome. Else you would print not a palindrome. Okay, that's it. Now you can check it. 1669, it's not a palindrome. But if you check here 121, it is a palindrome. Perfect. We got that. Okay, now create a new list from a to list using the following condition. Given a list of 2, write a program to create a new list such that the new list contains odd number from the first list and the even numbers from the second list. Simple but very interesting question. So imagine that you have a list L1 where you have the numbers. Let's some random numbers I'm writing here. Okay, so we got some random numbers, list 1, and list 2 also we would get some random numbers. Okay, we got that. Now what we want that from first list, what it says should contain the odd numbers. So from here we want odd numbers, and from this we want even numbers, and we need to create a new list. So how we will do that? Let's see that. So we need to go through each of the list one by one. So we will write here 2 for loops for I in L1. Simple as that. And I would check with this is very simple. If I divided by 3 mod 2 equals 0 is not equals to 0 because we want the odd numbers. So we will just do here L3 dot append L3 dot append L3 dot append L1. L3 dot append I. And same thing we will do for I2 as well. For L2, just we want that this should be double equals. So that's it. And we will create a L3 here separately. So let's see that whether we are able to do this or not. So yeah, this is an odd number. We got that. Odd number is there. Odd number is there. Odd number is there. Then this is even. So we didn't got 234. But we got 23 odd number. Yes, and the even numbers from here. So what is the even number? There is just one even number, that is 34, and we got that. So this is, yes, 8 is also there, so we got 8 also. So this is how we are able to do that. It was a simple question. Coming to the next exercise 26, calculate the income tax for a given income by adhering the following rules. So here we have to calculate the income tax. So the first 10K is 0%. Second is, so let's write it down. Second 10K is 10% and the remaining is 20%. So based on the income, we need to calculate the income tax here. So let's suppose that the income of the person is 45,000. So in the first 10,000, we don't need to pay any tax. Next 10,000, 10% of 10%. Okay. And then the remaining amount you need to pay 20% of the tax. Okay. So now we will just check it here. First of all, we need to just simply check here if n is less than 10,000 or equals to less than equals to 10,000. In that case, we would not have we will not have any tax. So we will print the number and no tax. Okay. Now in the opposite case, now if it is greater than 10,000, अब भाई जिसकी income बढ़ गई है वो क्या करेंगे? They need to pay the tax here. How we will calculate it else? So basically we will just calculate it very simple, that a value we will write here, that is equals to your income minus 10,000. So this is your remaining amount. So let's say from 45,000 we have removed 10,000. We need to pay tax on this. Okay. And we will also calculate here B. So now just keep in mind what is there in A. So in your A, you have 45,000, the income of yours. Just a second. So we calculated the remaining amount. So that is 10,000 rupees. Okay. So 45,000 is A minus your 45,000 minus 10,000, because this 10,000 we don't need to pay any tax. So it is removed. Now in A, what you are left with? In A, you are left with 35,000. Okay. So now in this 35,000, you need to pay tax on 10% for the 10% for 10,000 rupees. So basically in a tax on first 10,000, tax on first 10K. So I'm just writing this variable so that you can understand it. It is 10,000 into, so what it is 10%. So 10% can be written as 10 divided by 100. Okay, that is 0.1. So into 0.1 for the 10% part of it. Okay, now we need to calculate this 20% remaining amount. To calculate that, we got 35,000. Again, from this 35,000, we will remove, that is A. We will remove more 10,000 rupees from it because we have already paid the tax on that. Now in B, we got the remaining amount. So this remaining amount you need to multiply. Okay, this is the last bracket where you multiply it with the 20% into 0.2, and this is your last amount after total tax. Okay, now this you got 6 here, that is tax on second 10, tax on remaining amount. Tax on remaining amount is this one. Okay, I would explain you, don't worry. First, let me just calculate that. Now the total tax would be very simple, tax on remaining amount, okay, plus your tax on first 10K. That's it. And at the last, we will just print here the total tax. Okay. Now it says that it is not supported between string and, so what is string here? N value, yes, N value. If income, we don't need to write here N, we need to write here income. If income is less than, that's it. Okay, so now we got a tax of 6,000 rupees. So see how simply is calculated. Now I would explain you this. So this 45,000. So now first we will check if it is less than 10,000, then no tax at all. But for 45,000, first 10K is totally free. So that is what we have removed here. This is the free amount. Now from 45K, if you have removed 10K, the remaining is 35. You need to pay tax on this 35. So in your first A, you get 35,000. Now on this A, you need to pay the tax. Just keep that in mind. In A, first of all, whatever we don't need to pay, we removed it. Ab jis pe tax bharna hai, that is the thing, that is A. This is your tax amount. Now in this tax amount, the first 10K, there is only 10%. So what I did, basically on the first 10K, I multiplied it by the 10%. So this is 10%. So that is stored on the first 10K. Now the remaining amount, okay, this remaining amount, how we will get this remaining amount? 35 minus 10. So this 35 minus 10, we got the remaining amount B here. This I multiplied by 0.2, that is 20%, because it is 20% bracket. And we got the tax remaining here. Now we just sum this two taxes, okay, and we got the total tax. That's it. So this was a very cool question. Coming to the next part here, print the multiplication table from 1 to 10. This is also very cool. So we can write here for I in range of, we want from 1 to 10. So I would write here 1 to 11. Okay. Now I would just write here print one more for loop here. So for I in range of 1 to 10. So again 1 to 11 here. So let's say in school there are 1 to 12. So I would explain you this 13 I would keep here. And now it's very simple. I would just print here, print. Okay, now see, I would explain you what this is, but you would really enjoy this when you would see the output of it. Okay, I'm just making that it look good, aligned. Okay, so we got all the tables. Now see what I did here. From 1 to complete table, we got it from 12. So what I did, the first for loop is to write the tables. So this for loop is to get the values, like we want 1 table, 2 table, 3 table, 4 table, 5. So if you want till 99 table, you need to replace this. So from where to where you want tables, that is the stuff here. Then in this J, so I want it from 1 to 12. So like 1 into 2 into 3, this 4, this 5, this 6, and this 12. So if you want to print it at 20, you would change this value here. So this implies that from where to where. So from 1 to 12 multiplication, what you want. Now I have just written here this simple string formatting. I have explained you in all the videos. This I value would go into this first place. This J value would go into the second place. And we have multiplied I into J. And after completing this J loop, so what it will do, it will first take the I value. This would start from here. So first we will print the table of 1. The J value would start from 1, 2, 3, 4 till 30 till 12. So you would get the first one table from 1 to 12. Okay. Now once the one table is completed, this J loop is completed, it will print a dash in between so that we know that the first table is completed, sorry. And then it would print the second table. So this was also a very cool question. Okay, now print all the Armstrong number from range of 100 to 1000. Now in the previous table, I have explained you, previous video, I have explained you what is your Armstrong number. If you know that, that's very good. You can go and watch that. If you do not know that, okay, I would explain you once again, what do you mean by Armstrong number? So print all the Armstrong numbers from 1 to 100 to 1000. Now see how to do that. Armstrong number means that if you take here the number 1 to 1, let's say 1 to 1. Okay, if you take cube of this, and cube of this, and if you sum all the cubes, it should be equals to 121. That is the simple condition. So how to do that? Let's see it. We want individual numbers here. So we can take very easily all the individual numbers. So let's say n equals to 1 to 1. Now I want all the individual numbers from it. So I can use previous method, which I have already shown you in the video. Watch that. There are multiple methods. You can use any one of them. Okay. You can use that method also. That would also give you an Armstrong number. Here, just simply, I would convert that into a string. Okay. Let's do it in the, let's convert it into a string. So for I in str of n, so I converted into string because I would get individual number that 1, 2, and then 1. Okay. Then I get, as soon as I get the first integer value, I would just cube it. Okay. And store that in a list. So I would take the cube of this number. So for that, we need to convert it into integer once again. Then we want a cube of it. So this is how we take the cube. Okay. And we will keep that in, we will just adding that value, sum equals to 0 right now. We would just do here, this is our cube, c equals to this cube. And we would just do here sum equals to sum plus c. So right now the sum value right now is 0 here. So 0 plus whatever the c value we would get. Let's say we got 1 here, 1 cube is 1. So 1 plus 0, 1. So in your c, in your sum, 1 is stored. Now same way it would run a loop here, and basically at the end you would get the sum, which is 10. You can check that 1 to 1 if you take the cube of this. So 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, and 1 cube is 1. So 1 plus 8 plus 1, that is 10. So we got that first of all. Now we need to check only from the range of 100 to 1000 what are the Armstrong numbers. So we need to run that in a loop. We will just do one simple. We can keep here for n in a range of 100 to 1000. Okay, 1001 we will write here. And now this n values would continuously keep changing. It would start from 100 and it will go to 1000, and we will continue keep checking that. Now we will also check here very simple thing, that if your sum, okay, just mention that sum1 because sum is a function, don't change that, sum1. Yeah, so if sum1 is equals to the original value of n, that is n, okay, in that case we need to just print it, else don't print that. So that is as simple as that. So what mistake we have made here, let's see that. So we got the sum of a number. Let's try to print it. What is the value of sum1 here and comma n? 10 121 10 121. Okay, so see, we are not changing, we have kept the n value here constant. That is the reason we are getting the same stuff. Okay, we will remove this print now, so we only get the Armstrong numbers. So yes, the Armstrong numbers are 153, 370, 371 and 407. So this is perfectly right. We have written the program. So this was part one. This will become a very big video, so I'm shuffling that into 2 videos. Okay, so now the next set of questions we will see in the second video. Stay tuned everyone. Thank you so much. Bye bye.